2020-03 ordinance amending chapter 3, section 13-306 municipal code rubbish control. Is there any comment from the public? None being none. Council have any comments? None on council. Any comment?
Number 2 is we attempt in-hand service prior to sending the registered mail, which is we attempt to make contact in person prior to sending the registered mail. That's the only 2 changes in the ordinance.
No being no comments then, this public hearing is ceased. The regular meeting is called to order. Chief, you do honor to put on page. Please stand.
Mayor, if I first may, I'd like to thank you and council for the support that you have given my family on the loss of our father-in-law. We appreciate, as a family, we appreciate the flowers that you sent. It's a very nice gesture. Thank you so much.
Well, you're very welcome. We're so sorry for your wife's loss, but I lost my mother. We lost one of our police officers this week. There's so many of our family members and friends now. Please keep all these families in prayer.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Chief.
Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Heavenly Father, we love you for what you do for us on a daily basis. Lord, we can never thank you enough for the gifts that you give us. The next breath, the next step, often we take it for granted, but we should be much thankful to you for that as we come to you in prayer. We ask that you continue to be with those that have lost loved ones in the community, Lord. You know the pain that you're going through. We ask that you ease their pain during this particular time. We ask that you be with those that have illnesses and that are sick. You know the desires that they need to help them move along in a positive manner. And we just ask that you continue to work in their life and for your will. We certainly want to thank you for sending Jesus to the cross to die for our sins. That's the gift that we can never repay. And we ask that you be with us throughout this council meeting. Give council the opportunity to make the most sound decisions available to help move the city forward. These things we ask in your name, Lord. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Stand call the roll, please.
Mr. Archer. Present. Mr. Hoskins.
Here.
Ms. Thompson.
Here.
Mr. Wilson. Here. Mayor Staines. Here.
Okay. Motion passed. Item number 4, approve the minutes, August 2020 meeting, which council declared.
Motion approved.
Have a motion, Mr. Thompson, have a second.
Second.
Ms. Thompson, call the roll, please.
Mr. Archer. Yes. Mr. Hoskins.
Yes.
Ms. Thompson.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yeah. Motion carried. Item number 5, enforcement of boards, committees, and departments, which council declared. Have a motion, Mr. Wood, have a second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Todd, call the roll.
Mr. Archer. Yes. Mr. Hoskins.
Yes.
Ms. Thompson.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson. Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 6, are there any comments from the public? Is there anyone here from Trane? General comments? Your turn.
I think we've had a mix-up. Johnny we're supposed to have you guys here last night during the workshop, and but Mayor, maybe at the end of the Beer Board, do you think y'all could do a short presentation?
Okay, yeah.
So if y'all don't care, hang on for just a few minutes at the end of the Beer Board, and then they'll get a presentation. I know y'all have a presentation ready, and they'll entertain that then.
Okay. Is there any more comments from the public? Hans, you have something?
I can't hear you.
Hey, Papa, you know he bought my dinner last night?
I know.
Hey, you know, he scared the crap out of me. I see his over. You want to hit a state trooper, nice. Yeah.
say something if they.
You want to speak, Mr. Hatmaker? We might need to get back here in H.
Ain't got no ears on
No, you're drunk.
In case some of you don't know who I am, I'm Henry Hatmaker. Been around here for years. And, my problem is that the reason I'm here today at this meeting, I got word that our administrator had approached some people and told them to not accept a phone call from me and another lady here in the city. And I believe it. And I just want to let this council to know that your administrator is only in charge of daily operations. Doesn't have anything to do with your policies. Your policies left up to this council. So if you don't know about it, then it may be a good idea for you to check in on it if you want to see your city run smooth. But as long as you go against your charter, you'll never run smooth. I've seen it happen too many times. I've been on the council for 22 years, and I've known your charter about as good as anybody does. I had to learn it. But I just want you to know in the background that the things that's taking place and that you need to know about. Because it'll come back to bite you down the road. Okay?
Very good, sir.
I'm fully aware of.
Is that all right with you guys?
Mr. Hatton, I am fully aware of my obligations to the council.
And if you need to know any questions
You can hear you.
about your charter, Mr. Trapman, he knows it probably as good as anybody does. All you gotta do is ask him,
Jimmy is trying to answer
and
you.
he'll tell you.
Jimmy's trying to answer you.
I can't hear you.
Jimmy is trying to answer you.
Huh?
Mr. Jeffries is trying to answer you.
Who?
Jimmy.
I'm not interested in anything Mr.
I'll
Jefferson
make
got
a
to say.
statement to the general
But
public.
I know
I'm
what,
fully aware of my responsibilities under the
how
charter.
the
I'm
years
fully
will
aware of
work
what I'm
out.
supposed to do. That
So,
absolutely did not
But
happen.
Mr. Trapman
Mr. Faust.
does know about the charter, and he'll tell you. And not only that, if you want to and want to back up, your administrators are illegal. Because the charter says that you're supposed to have a degree. And it goes on and says if you've been in the position for years, that you're, that counts too as a certain amount. But when this was all done and said, they took a vote on it, and I read the charter to them, and they still voted for it. And so I said, what about the charter? Then Mr. Bowlinger, you go back and check your minutes. That's all you got to do, pull your minutes on it. You'll find every bit of it right there. And the charter said, or Mr. Bowlinger made the comment that he had 2 weeks experience. And we had a guy sitting in our audit that had 30 years experience that took the job for the same amount of money. So you can call that political or ever how you want to call it. But that's what happened.
So, Mr. Hatmaker,
Thank you.
3 votes, you're in.
Anybody got any questions?
3 votes are in, 3 you're out.
I didn't understand what he said. But,
He said 3 votes in, 3 votes out. Takes 3
well,
votes.
yeah, well, we all know that. But 3 votes illegal is insubordination. You go against that charter, you went against every state representative in the state because they voted on that charter. Yeah, they do.
I want to thank you for that fish sandwich last night.
And, when it comes up before, the state house in Knoxville.
All right. You got 2 G's go buy my supper last night? We went through the drive-through of Wendy's. I didn't think we was ever going to get through that drive-through. He couldn't hear. He kept calling some man woman. It's
All
been-
right, Mayor, I have a comment. Number one, that is not what our charter says. Number two, I'm fully aware of my duties, and I perform my duties daily the way I'm supposed to. And number three, Mr. Hatmaker is running for political office, and I'm sure this is a political grandstand. Mr. Hatmaker told me 6 years ago, after I wouldn't lie for him, when he took a red vehicle to Memphis and wrecked it, that he would get me no matter what it took. So this is just another ploy at that, period. Every one of you knows what the charter says. Every one of you knows about what illegal.
Is there any more comments? Reader? Norfolk? Any announcements? You got any announcements? Got any closed? You got anything that you closed? Okay, you know, I told you, I got a letter from the governor here, from Governor Lee, and everything is in place right now. It's gonna go through September the 30th. Before you see any changes. You may see changes, you may not after September 30th on this coronavirus. All right. Under ordinance and resolution number 1, ordinance 2020-03, ordinance amending chapter 3, section 13-306, municipal code, records control. This is the third and final reading. What's council's pleasure?
So move, Mayor.
Got a motion, Mr. Wilson, have a second.
Second.
Second by Ann, I think. Call roll.
Mr. Archer? Yes. Mr. Hoskins?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson? Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 2, ordinance 2020-04, ordinance amending the Parks and Recreation ordinance as set forth in ordinance 2012-04. This is the first reading. Johnny, where's Johnny at? Jimmy, no comments on it? It's that smoking thing?
Yes, Mayor, this was an thing that came up during the impasse that they changed this year. And what it does is allow cities in their playgrounds to stop smoking. No smoking in the playgrounds and parks.
Is it just smoking or all tobacco use?
Just smoking.
But if you remember, Jimmy, 2 years back, we tried this and it blew up in the face, remember?
And they changed the rule this year in I guess it was, I went into effect July 1.
It is. Okay. All right, what's council's pleasure?
Motion approved.
Have a motion by Mr. Archer, have a second, Ms. Thompson, call the roll.
Mr. Archer? Yes. Mr. Hoskins?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson? Yes.
Motion carries. I'm in ordinance 2020-04. I've been over at the park, people be sitting around smoking, have small kids, like trash here last night, you know, breathing in smoke, secondhand smoke. It's a killer, you know, I'm sure anybody said it. All right. Item number 3, resolution 2020-14, amending the 2021 budget. What's council's pleasure?
So move, Mayor.
Have a motion, Mr. Lewis, have a second. Ms. Thompson,
Yes.
call the roll, Shannon.
Mr. Archer? Yes. Mr. Hoskins?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson? Yes.
Motion carries. Under Fire Department, approve to accept bids for the rescue truck. What's council's pleasure on that?
There we had one bid. I think the chief has a bid and it did meet the specs, and we can read off the $1 amount.
Okay, go ahead, Jimmy.
That's a bid from Southeast Apparatus for $128,864. Their bid did meet all the specs that we wrote for the rescue truck.
Okay, good, good. All right, now, Jimmy, we got money now for this back talking, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, all right, I'm sure. All right,
I'll make the motion.
have a motion, Mr. Lewis, have a second.
I'll second.
Second, Mr. Archer, call the roll, Shannon.
Mr. Archer? Yes. Mr. Hoskins?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson? Yes.
Motion carries. Anything that's come for council this
Mayor,
meeting?
before we adjourn, a couple things. Number one, on Brantley Lane, there is a couple of options as to whether to flatten that hilltop out or possibly to acquire some property from Mr. Gregg. I need to know which route to take on that. Thank you, property. I think that the to just go straight down by the hump, or do you all just want to resurface it as it is? And if we decide to widen the road and to go straight, do we need engineering on it?
Well, you know, that road's in pretty bad shape. I was down here a couple weeks ago. I would recommend the council go ahead and just blacktop it. Then we can figure something out down the road.
I think that we should discuss with the railroad what their time frame is for construction and what their scope of work is, and coordinate with them.
What's the railroad doing, Mark?
They're gonna put a crossing in, gates and lights and everything.
After all these years?
That's what they told us. Is that not correct?
When did you talk to them?
2 weeks ago. We're trying to get permission to clean that ditch out to determine the water problem.
Well, you know, when
I'd actually forgotten, I thought they were just widening the crossing, I actually forgot they said they were putting in.
They said they're putting in a crossing, correct?
that's good. Well, you know, when the city first annexed that down there, I think I was street director or operations manager. We went there and cut that right away out. And I worked, well, most of the guys I worked with at the railroads, they're retired or died off.
It's a real nice guy we were dealing with.
Okay.
I left him a message again today to see if he can get back.
Okay, you get back with me.
I've left him a message, and I'll call him again tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr. Wilson.
The option of, is that gonna be the option of not taking those rocks out, moving over on, where they're building the thing? Getting that,
Whichever way you all want to do that, I just need to know which way so I can get it bid correctly. If you just want to resurface it, if you want to move over, if you want to wait for railroads there, I just need to know so I can.
Once you get the railroad, we can get back with them, son.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay.
And lastly, Mayor, I do want to confirm with Mr. Faust that we did have a conversation about that, and I have not told anyone, do not have to talk for anyone. Is that correct, Mr. Faust?
that's correct. I'd like to comment on it also. When you and I talked about that this morning, that's the first I've heard about it. And I've never given nobody orders to do anything like that.
Neither have I. So, that's it, Mayor.
What are we talking about?
That's what, what are we talking about?
About the telling folks not to use your phone to people here at City Hall.
Well, as far as the council, we're elected by the people and represent these employees. We hardly ever represent us. I don't care who it is calls, answer the phone, relay the message, whoever the phone goes to, and make sure you get called back.
Absolutely.
I mean, I have it on my cell phone, 60 to 100 some phone calls a day. That's
While
why
we're on that, I would like to know, to deal with Daniel, where I was getting calls on complaints, and Daniel not returning phone calls. Why is Jimmy returning the calls and not Daniel?
Are you returning phone calls here? Are you returning Daniel's phone calls?
Call the first lady back today. Mr. Foster, you want to address that?
Sure, I'll address that. What is your question, Ms. Thompson?
Why is Jimmy making the phone calls on the complaints or codes when it should have been you returning the calls?
Well, I think he made the first phone call because I had got in touch with him today when he made the call. But I have been returning calls, and if you want to me to produce some records for you of how the calls are coming in, how I document when I receive them, and then I go out to perform them, I'm willing to, share all these records with you that I make. Now, that being said,
The people are saying that you're not calling them.
okay, so let me explain something to you. So you turned over a list to the administrator yesterday of.
He asked for it.
So then, yeah, for 4 names.
And
When I looked at the
I asked
list.
Jimmy to do the research on it and find out what occurred.
Okay, so when I talked to those people, let's see, one of them said that the mayor told her to call you instead of directing them to me. The other one said that she did not make the call at all to you, but that you reached out to her. And then the third lady said that she spoke with the lady, I'm assuming it was you, and she never spoke with me. Now, I've talked to all those people on that list today, and I think I've taken care of their issues, but I want you to understand that I probably get, 25 or 30 calls a day plus emails, so I prioritize those, and I get back to them as her priority. If it's important, such as a dog bite, aggressive dog, I will do those first. Now, it might take an hour, it might take 30 minutes, it might take 15 minutes, but I do get back to those calls in a prioritized manner. Now, that being said, some of these, I may not get to their situation till the end of the week or the next week, especially if I'm out work or if I'm in training. So that having been said, that's kind of how it rolls right there. Now, something else has come to my attention. Since I have been here, I have tried to take it in stride and go with it because I felt like, maybe they don't understand exactly how much is involved in the job that I'm in. But then I got to thinking, you and I have talked privately a couple times outside of this forum. And I said, maybe you don't like me, or maybe you just don't like the name Daniel, because I know you had some issues with the other Daniel, but I think the issues that we have now are going far and beyond that. I noticed that when we have a council meeting, seem to pick on me more than you do anybody else, or you have a problem with anything that I do. So I got to wondering, I knew you and the mayor had conspired on a few things because of information I found out today, and things I've heard said either to my back or behind my back, and the mayor thought that I didn't hear some of these things. So I just wonder, did you have a problem with me being black, or is it just me,
I
or
don't
is it
have
just
a
the
problem with you.
position?
I don't have a problem with you at all, Daniel. I have a problem with you not doing your job.
So it has nothing to do with me being black.
No.
It has nothing to do with me being a Daniel,
Nope,
anything like that. Now, you do understand what my job is, though, is that correct?
I do.
Because I got the feeling you really don't understand. You
I
don't
do
really know what I
understand.
do back there.
But I'm just saying that these people say that you do not call them back, and I understand that they're reaching out to me. So.
Sure.
I
But
mean,
you're not going out to drum up work for me, as if I don't have enough. But they're reaching out to you.
Yes.
Okay, and then Mayor, same thing with you.
I think that's
You're doing the
the
same thing. Do you realize that both of you all, I'll be out on the job and you'll call me or come to me, and both of you all will say, hey, look, I need you to go over here and write so-and-so a ticket. Or I need you to go over here and check on this grass. Or
I
that
have
concrete.
never told
Or-
you that.
Yes, ma'am, you have several times. You'll stop me in the middle of a job that I'm on to take a job that's more important to you because somebody called you about it or you called them. Instead of considering that the rest of the
Daniel, I
city
haven't even
also
talked
needs
to
to
you
be
in over
serviced.
6 weeks.
And since the rest of the city needs to be serviced, maybe if I do it in a prioritized manner, I can get to these people and answer and fulfill what they need because they are also citizens of the city. I don't think you or the mayor give a hoot about what anybody else thinks. It's just what you all feel like is the situation.
Oh, no.
Let me say something, please. Danny Mayor Richardson, okay?
Absolutely.
You got that right. I am the mayor. Now, the lady I told to call Miss Thompson, she called me and she said she left you 3 or 4 messages for 2 weeks. You never returned her phone call. And Anna's brought this up in the workshop meeting. As far as telling you anything, I am the mayor, but I am also the Vietnam veteran. If I got something to tell you, I'll say it to your face, okay? I won't go behind your back.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you being a veteran. I appreciate you saying you wouldn't go behind my back. But I've personally walked down the hallway and heard you make racial slurs about me. Have you not?
I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
You can't breathe.
No.
I can't breathe either.
Yeah.
Because you got your knee on my neck.
Mm.
And I think Miss Thompson does as well. But I'll tell you
I have
what,
nothing against
I am
you,
going to
Daniel.
do my job to the best of my ability. And when I'm not able to do it anymore, I'll resign. But I've heard that you're going to fire me anyway, so maybe I won't have to resign.
Listen, I don't care if you're black, white, polka dotted, green, or cherry color. I don't really care. I served in Vietnam with black people. A lot of my friends in Vietnam were black people, and a lot of them were killed in Vietnam. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what color.
I understand what you're saying, and again, I appreciate you
Breathe or
and everyone else that has served. You don't have to beat me over the head with that. I know you served. I really
I'm not
appreciate
free
it.
talking.
But I'm talking about this issue right now.
Listen, I'm not free talking. As far as Black Lives Matter, I don't really care. You know, all lives matter to me. All right, whether you're black or white or what, a life's a life. You can ask over 58,000 of my brothers and sisters that were killed in Vietnam. If a life, black or white life matters. They'll tell you that.
Okay, sir, I agree with you. All lives do matter. However, I do find it very particular, very discouraging that you continue to say things about me, and I've heard you say them, and you didn't realize I did, but I did. I didn't do anything about it, didn't approach it, because I thought maybe he'll get together and go away. So I agree with you. It is not her life or his life or anybody else. It's all of us. We all matter. But we all need to be treated like a decent person with respect at all times. And I do my best to be as professional as I can. Look, I'm not going to let what you do and what she does It's not gonna stop me. Look, you can't steal my joint, but I'm gonna serve these people as long as I work for these people to the best of my ability.
Well, you're making $40,000 a year to be a certified codes officer, you're not certified, so get certified, okay?
I am a certified codes officer. You know why? Because the state of Tennessee does not have a certified code enforcement
So
officer.
Mr. Hopkins made a comment when we first heard you had 1 year to pass the test.
That was for inspections, construction
No.
inspection services.
It was for everything.
There's no test, there's no designation for codes
So
enforcement.
here's me, it's code enforcement, is that true, Stan? What, he just said, I'm not gonna say it.
Codes enforcement, no. Building inspector, yes. Animal control, yes. At one time, it was all one job, and you all voted to separate those jobs.
It's 3 jobs.
Well, I have nothing against you, Daniel. I do have something against the fact that Daniel Smith was in that position and he was let go because he didn't pass the test, and yet you didn't pass the test and you got to stay because Jimmy decided to hire somebody else to do the job. And I
Well-
think that was wrong.
Yes, ma'am, I understand what you're saying, but
I was here when that occurred. We had misinformation for Daniel.
And Daniel Smith
We had-
has to leave
we-
because
we had
Ms.
accurate
Thompson
information
harassed him
from
to the
Mr.
point that he
Foster.
couldn't deal with the job anymore. Daniel Smith has to leave because Ms. Thompson harassed him to the point he couldn't deal with the job.
Mr. Wilson, do you ever get complaints on him for not doing his job? Mr. Archer, do you ever get complaints for Daniel not doing his job? Mr. Jeffries, do you ever get complaints for him not doing his job?
From the mayor and Ms. Thompson,
I'm talking about from the public.
very rarely.
We need to do exactly what we discussed 4 months ago. Every call needs to come through the front office. It needs to be documented, dated. It needs to be passed on to the person. It needs to be passed on, whether it's the street department, whether it's code enforcement, whether it's a mayor, whether it's a council member. We need to quit this childish activity. Now, are we in fact documenting all calls at the front desk?
They're supposed to be. They're supposed to be, they have the forms, Daniel has the
If
forms.
you do not get it from the front desk, Daniel, do not act on it. And we'll stop this.
Are we?
But wait a minute, it's not the clerk's office job to take calls for him. That's not their job.
We
Let me
discussed that in a
Let me ask a
minute.
question, since I'm responsible for the front office. Okay, are you saying that the front office isn't doing their job?
No, sir, not at all.
Okay, because from my understanding, the front office answers every call for everybody in the city.
Very good.
They do. They write down every call that comes into this building. Now, let me tell you, when I was in that department, I answered my own phone call. Police department answers their own phone calls. The library answers hers. Well, I mean, we don't have a problem with answering them, but I have to take up for my staff. We answer those phone calls.
All I'm requesting is documentation of a call so that it took place to determine if Mr. Foster's doing his job or not. That's the only purpose of it.
I understand that.
And hopefully the 311 system will be in place soon once the status of it.
Real revenue system will solve a whole lot of problems.
Have
I
any
checked-
one of you all ever went to the front office and asked the girls if they've got complaints?
I don't have them on. Nobody ever calls me with complaints.
Well,
There's no
there you
reason
go.
for me to check on it.
There you go. I mean, if you've not had any, they've not had any. I mean, but I'm taking up for my staff. My staff, I feel, does 100% of their job.
And you should.
And that's what
I
I
agree.
said, as far as
I
I know,
agree.
every call that comes in is documented. You know, when you were in the job stand, we didn't have the call that we have today with the things that are going on right here and right now, and that's why it has to be documented differently than when you were in the job. But they take it, and I've seen them bring it back there. And
I've
seen them
gone
bring
back
it
there
everywhere.
myself. I've handled calls myself, and I'm not talking about, no, Daniel, I understand that's a hard job because I've done that job. But I understand that things could be different too. But I mean, it's not all as it appears. But, I mean, you need to ask the people that's supposed to be answering the phone calls, ask them the questions. They don't know. I mean, anybody in here don't know. Ask the people that's answering the phone calls.
I do, they do take the call.
Well,
They
if
do
they,
answer the calls.
And they take them back and put it in the door.
if they have a registry of the calls that came in, he has a registry of the calls he picked up, they should be no
Well,
problem.
You look at Daniel's report, he says in the report, he gets 30 to 40 phone calls a month, if he turns all of them, well, why they calling me for?
I don't have a clue. That's what we're trying to find out. Why didn't they call me?
I can give you the number, because you ain't got to see the phone. I do, and Hot Rod does, the rest of them got your own phone.
And I appreciate you for that.
When I give you that phone call, you got to get a phone call years ago, the burglar, the road you,
I did,
when he has business.
yes.
We move on.
All right, anything else? All right, this meeting's adjourned.
Call the beer board to order. Call the roll, stand. Mr. Archer? Present. Mr. Hawkins?
Here,
Mr. Stanfield? Here. Ms. Thompson?
Here.
Chairman Wilson? Here. We've got on item number 1, the Red Rouge Market citation. It was in your packet. I hope everybody read it. It's on the Red Rouge Market. They was, got caught selling to minors twice in less than a week.
so that's considered 2 counts.
That's 2 counts.
Are they here tonight?
The owner is here, right here.
Robin's here, and so is Dr. Marcel.
You got your code, there, what our code says?
It's a fine, you know,
Huh?
it's a fine.
Yes, it's left up to the beer board what they want to do. You got 2 options, you fine or suspended.
Is this the first infractions?
It is.
How long have they been in business?
2 years.
2 years, how long you been in business?
More than 2 years.
More than 2 years.
Have you solved your problem?
Yes, sir. She's one of them who sold it to minor, so she's here.
Yeah, I was busy. I know that's no excuse. I went to the window. I don't know why that day. I always argue. That day I went to the window, I did not argue. I've worked in retail beer for, I guess, 10, 15 years. This is the first time I've ever sold to minor. I always check on it.
They went back in less than a week and had a different lady sell beer to a minor too. So, we got a problem.
I make a motion that that they are fined $1,500 for each offense.
Got a motion,
I'll second that.
got a second. All in favor, call roll, Stan.
Mr. Archer?
Yes.
Mr. Hoskins?
Yes.
Mayor Stanfield?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
Are you aware of what took place?
The owner,
Yes.
You got $3,000 fine, $3,000.
It's either the fine or lose your beer license.
you have 7 days to pay that money or you're revoked.
That we consider robbing.
Pay it at the front office up here. You got 7 days.
You understand?
Robin, be sure about it. All your employees over, check these.
We did, we moved things in place.
I would like to show you some.
The way I also understand it is if the person is convicted, they can no longer work at that establishment. Is that right?
That's
Is
my
that right,
understanding.
That is code, yes.
That is code.
If they are convicted, that is correct.
Because they've been charged.
Yes.
Been charged. What court will they go to? Tell me the results of the infractions.
Yeah. Yeah, Manny Sankey, right, Manny.
Yeah, that's right.
What if there's an infraction in the future?
We'll have to address it.
So it's not affiliated, no future infractions are affiliated with this current one?
No.
Okay.
All right, Robin, you understand, Robin, what you said?
So I would like to say something. Since this is the first time it happened at the establishment and we are taking some measures, it won't happen again. But if there is any way we can just reduce the fine, since it's happened first time at the store. And that's very heavy fine on us.
That's policy, Robin, that's, you know. You know, we've done it for, I think, the back door, Chinese restaurant, the next restaurant, so that's.
Selling beer to children, man, come on. We don't want your money, we want you to stop doing it.
Definitely.
But it's either the fine or you lose your license.
Yeah.
I mean, we could have voted to have your license suspended.
But we're giving you another change.
And you have 7 days. If you don't pay it in 7 days, we'll revoke your license.
Okay?
We got another, are we done with that one? We got an application for a beer permit for Twin Flame. If everybody don't know what Twin Flame is gonna be in the old McDonald's down there at Woodson Mall. Am I correct?
Yes,
Y'all wrong?
yes, it is.
Captain, you checked it out. Did you find anything?
No criminal history found in the past 10 years, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Did they go through a background check?
Yeah, that's what he just said, he just did.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion, I'll approve it.
Have a second?
Second.
Call the roll, Stan.
Mr. Archer?
Yes.
Mr. Hoskins?
Yes.
Mayor Stanfield?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
You approved.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. We'll welcome you down when we get open.
Do not sell to minors.
Absolutely not.
We have minor grandchildren.
Well, I drank Dr. Pepper.
Well, that's okay, we got
Dr. Pepper.
Hey, where you guys from?
Originally, but we're from Harlan, Kentucky originally.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I was in-
Wherever it's in the,
I do.
that's where my father was from.
Hey, I was in Vietnam with a guy from Harlan, Kentucky, and nobody's met him. His name was Luke Smith.
There's only 10 million Smiths that turn that far.
He was from Harlan, Kentucky,
Oh, well,
and the other guy, he was
oh,
from Barberville. The guy from Barberville is like what you call a magic. His name is Carson Gilbert. You ever heard of him, Carson Gilbert?
No, I'm sure
He's
have.
been 71.
I'm a veteran of the Air Force. As soon as I got out of high school, I went straight into the Air Force.
I was drafted, thanks for your service.
So the people know what type of restaurant you're gonna be.
It's a full-blown sports bar. Right now, we have the Twin Flame food truck. You can look us up on the internet. We got tons of great reviews. We got catfish, burgers, wings. We make a lot of our own sauces and spices and burgers. We marinate our own stuff. It's all our own stuff that's made here in Campbell County. And so everybody loves it. So you look it up on the internet, Twin Flame and Unresistible Love, and see what the food truck's gonna do, and then we're gonna take it big time in front of Food City. But, luckily, we've actually been very successful with the food truck during the pandemic, even though we've had to stay sitting still.
I've eaten there, it's good.
Thank you.
I love catfish.
Yeah.
It's our own batter. It's actually his batter. He created the batter. It's very thin batter, so it doesn't take away from the catfish flavor. And
We got some professional catfish eaters up here.
it's grandma's coleslaw, so everything, majority of what we make is homemade.
Welcome.
Excuse me?
Where y'all find catfish in Harlan at?
No, this will be our first actual building location.
I'm sorry?
Where'd you find the catfish in Harlan, in the Blue Hole?
Catfish in Harlan,
I
I
make
always
noodling for you.
the Blue Channel cat is the only thing we get out of the Coastal River.
Okay.
So we appreciate y'all. Thank you for your vote of confidence, and we look forward to seeing y'all soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you for coming to the fall.
We don't have any further business for the mayor board. I hear a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Okay, we've got your council, attorney, attorney.
I demand a smoke break.
Make sure my kids are around you.
I'll be back in 5 minutes, y'all can keep going. I'm gonna change your mind. Actually, I have a phone call.
Nancy, y'all ready to come up?
Hey. Jimmy, I tell Casey, Casey's really.
Sorry for the confusion.
Fix that cut over down our charge, Casey. You see it?
I'm sorry for the confusion, y'all. I think y'all were supposed to be here last night, and they were gonna vote on it tonight.
And I apologize, and I looked back at the text messages between Johnny and I can see how there was some confusion. He said, Monday the 1st, And we never really nailed down if it was Monday or Tuesday, and I think I assumed it would be Friday. But we did not bring a presentation to do, but I guess Owen would, does everybody still have a copy of the statement?
No, you go, I sat there and listened to it. He did, the mayor did, and Mark did, and I'm happy with it.
Well, in essence, it's a project to upgrade your buildings in energy efficiency that will pay for itself through the energy it produces.
And we're going to do the full-blown
The investment grade.
investment grade thing, so, okay. I'm sorry they would have voted on that tonight, but when they don't talk about it in a meeting, they can't vote, or in the workshop, they can't vote on it in a meeting.
How much is this gonna be? 'Cause I don't know anything about it. I'm sorry, I wasn't told about it.
Yes, ma'am, you were told about the meeting. Actually, you scheduled the meeting, the time for the meeting. But, we're under schedule.
So we presented to you all.
And they presented, and I put one of those back in your box.
It's a great thing.
It's to go to
The
LED.
city comes out.
No, explain that, it's just a short version, explain that to Ms. Thompson real quick, please.
So a short version, so we're with Train Interview Services. We did some auditing for the city really in 2019 and then into January and February to look for opportunities for you guys to get a bunch of facility type stuff done using the savings as a means to pay for those improvements. And so like one of the things is street lighting. You have an opportunity to own your own street lights, convert them all to LED in the city, and essentially put money back in the city's pocket. And same thing with all the buildings. You can do the LED lighting in all the buildings, address aged air conditioning, controls, some low flow plumbing technology. We take all these various technologies, you implement them, and then those savings that occur, that we guarantee that occur, are what you use to handle the payments on the work. And it's not a program we invented, it's prompted by the U.S. Department of Energy. We are a accredited ESCO that does this type of work. We've done a bunch of this work in local county schools and neighboring communities. And like the city of Rockwood would be the best example for you guys to look at. We just recently completed a very, very similar project, similar size, similar scope, and they're just elated. And you can reach out to Becky Ruby or Mayor Brillo yourself, to bypass us. But we dragged your constituents through a presentation that they probably saw too much of back in July. And so what we're asking for is to go forward with what's called an investment grade audit. It's necessary for us to put contract grade pricing and a corporate letter of guarantee training on the table to secure a program like this. There's a cost, it's around $62,000. Those audit costs are just part of the program cost. Unless you opted out, you would agree to reimburse training for those costs. If the audit doesn't prove out all the work that we've done, we'll pay for the audit. So you really have no risk.
You did a real good presentation.
And one model shows over, I think it's a 20-year period, that the lights pay for themselves and we save almost $1 million, I believe if that's correct, on top of paying for the upgrades.
I think I've got those figures real quick here. So,
So we also have an option to pick and choose. I think if we want to do all of it. If we have some things that just shows that it don't pay off, and we can opt out of those particular items that don't pay off. We just have the ones that do pay off.
You were paying attention.
Campbell County Schools already got.
They've done it twice. They did it
twice.
Yeah.
Johnny says it's the best thing since sliced bread. And the presentation showed us it was over the years.
So I think that when y'all are able to vote, my recommendation would be to go ahead and move forward with the investment grade audit.
Right.
Do you all have, you do the paperwork?
It's actually very simple. So everything that we do is enabled through Tennessee Code Annotated. It falls under professional services. The letter of commitment that you would issue to training.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's in here. You just basically put it on your letterhead and send it to Nancy. We're easy to do business. Any other questions?
Since we got to do it in the workshop, when is the next workshop?
Unless you want to have a special call.
Let's do a special meeting.
Special, yeah, I'm for it.
You can, yeah, let's do it.
We'll
We're gonna do this.
Going quick.
That we shoot by our game.
In the council meeting.
Do a special call meeting now.
Unfortunately, we have to give notice.
If it weren't for the cold bar, I tell you, when you sell tickets to our council meeting.
Popcorn. Are we still filming?
Yeah.
You agree, Mark?
Oh, sorry, I just came in.
Special call meeting, Mark.
Very good.
Right. Well, thank you. So when you do that, so you want us to go back through this?
If we can come back and.
You can.
Okay.
If we have emails, I can email you a copy of all of this, so you can take a look at it
I'd be
beforehand.
more than happy to come visit.
We all have the city email addresses.
I can send you.
Are they on the
I can send
website?
you on the email.
Okay. I will email that out to everybody, just so you've got an electronic copy.
And Jimmy, get that, we have that.
Thank you very much.
You guys have a good evening.
Again, sorry about the mix-up.
Oh, you're okay, that's okay.
Don't do it again.